a strong professional army and a nuclear weapons state appears, as Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif said, overwhelmed today. Is there a lack of desire to act against terrorists of the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan? Does Pakistan still hope to use these terrorists against neighbors, or is the rot now too deep?
See, Gaurav, just on the Pakistan Army started its campaign in 2014 post the attack on the Karachi airport and post the attack on the Peshawar Army Public School. I, for one, was analyzing that the conduct of operations was fairly professional, except for the fact that there was an overkill of the use of weaponry, gunships and things like that were being used in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and places like that. But nevertheless, the Pakistan Army was doing it professionally. 1/3 of their infantry brigades were virtually deployed in Operation Zarb-e-Azb.
Yes.
But today, Gaurav, you have to understand, and I think all our audience needs to understand this. Pakistan is a nation under strain. Politically strained, diplomatically strained, and most importantly, intellectually, economically, and radically strained. When you have a combination of so many things which are straining the nation, you cannot find a focus of intelligence to be completely, sort of pointing towards anti-terrorist activities and things like that. This is a typical case of an intelligence failure, something which should have been picked up by the Pakistani intelligence. But because of the fact that the nation is under such strain, and perhaps the intelligence services themselves are focused in different directions, they are not being able to pick up all this. And I fear that their capability to fight the TTP today, under today's circumstances, is going to be highly suspect.
Oh, that would be alarming, Kamar Chima, because Peshawar police lines, as Kaswar Klasra also very rightly pointed out, on Khyber Road is said to be one of the most secure parts of the red zone of Peshawar, and this suspected suicide bomber, according to Pakistan Army, to Pakistan government, succeeded in entering the mosque, reaching very close to the Imam and carrying out this terror strike. Could there be complicity within, sir?
Well, I think there are a few things which we should understand. First of all, I think Pakistan's relation with the Taliban regime in Afghanistan, they also got deteriorated. If you remember, there were certain jailbreaks in Afghanistan. Because of that, the TTP elements, those were in Afghanistan, they were released, and unfortunately, we had installed the fence at the Pakistan-Afghanistan border, and that fence even couldn't stop them. And we know for the some fact that some of the political class, even Imran Khan, was open to give a statement that majority of the TTP elements that came from Afghanistan, we couldn't stop them because they were Pakistani citizens, so how come Afghanistan could keep them? So that was a very loose statement that came from the former Prime Minister Imran Khan. And the problem right now, Gaurav, is that the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and the Punjab, they are going through process of elections, because in both the provinces, the assemblies have been dissolved, provincial assemblies have been dissolved, even in the national level, more than 100 member national assemblies, seats have been dissolved. So it seems that this entire year is a year of elections, and there is a probability of the rise of violence, because the political class, public, everybody will be vulnerable. But one thing, if you understand the attitude of the militants, that they are targeting the government officials, they are targeting the police, law enforcement, because if they target the general public, that will create a havoc, that these are people who are targeting the public. So they are giving a message that our target is the law enforcement agency, so either it is police or the army, to demoralize. But the government has absolute capacity and the capability. All what they need is, they need a national will. They should
Interesting point you raised there, sir, that the government has the capabilities. But Kaswar Klasra, do you see a crackdown on TTP or negotiations with the TTP after Army Public School Peshawar? I mean, in any civilized country, if 130 children had been massacred, the army or the police would have gone after these terrorists in Pakistan. Some of them were let off.
I think it's a high time for the Pakistani government and Pakistan's, the security forces as well. But the ball is still in the court of Pakistan's political class, political government. They have to ask, they have to direct security forces to move their gun on the terrorist organization like, you know, the TTP, BLA, ISIS and other things as well. So it is a high time, because we have lost, as you have rightly pointed out, we lost a number of brilliant students there in, you know, Army Public School attack. So that was perhaps, including me, we were under the impression that the red line had been crossed. So now the Pakistan's political class and Pakistan Armed Forces will quell militancy from over there. Zarbia,
I have
like one
last
of
10
my,
seconds, General Hasnain. I want to give you the last word. Do you see negotiations with TTP, or do you see military operations, or do you see a confused state that Pakistan is in, also because of the political flux?
See, Gaurav, that's a very interesting question, no doubt. At the moment, Pakistan is going through a major crisis, and that this crisis is in different domains. Ideally, the Pakistan Army would want to retain its own professional image, and for that sake, if nothing else, it should be targeting the TTP whole hog. Almost in the same manner that they did it in 2014, 15, 16.
Okay.
But I doubt that they can do it, because I think the problems that the Pakistan state today is suffering from, politically, economically, diplomatically, particularly from the ideological angle, I find that this is overwhelming the state itself.
Well, the Prime Minister said so. He said he's overwhelmed.